Okay, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to grow your limbs at any age using the Slenderman method. Alright, so we're going to be talking about how to grow your clavicle length. We're going to be talking about how to grow your humerus. We're going to talk about how to grow your radius and ulna extension, or other words, your forearm. We're going to teach you how to grow your hands and your finger length. I'm going to teach you how to grow your femur, your tibia, and your foot. Alright, I'm going to teach you how to grow all these bones and cartilage so you can maximize your growth, your height growth in general, and so you can appear a lot taller and become just a lot taller. Alright, doing this myself got me to from 5'8" to 6'2". So, as you can see right here, I was 5'8" in this picture right here, and I'm 6'2" right here, okay? So, I know what I'm talking about, and if you want to learn more about what I'm talking about in this video, I go a lot more in depth into how to, grow these in my course right here. It's the Slenderman method, and I also have an additional course talking about the hormones and how to, regulate your hormones to promote your height. But the Slenderman method is going to help you grow your limbs a lot more efficiently. But in this video, we're going to be covering, the surface of what's in here. All right. So let's get straight into the video. The first thing we're going to be growing our clavicle and our arms. Alright, so how you grow your clavicles and arms is you need to do this exercise. Alright, matter of fact, before we even talk about the rest in this video, you got to be consistent with everything we're talking about in this video. You're not going to see results in the first, month, maybe the first month, depending on the person, but you're not going to see results right away. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You have to be consistent, even if you're not seeing results for the first few months. You have to be consistent, right? Because this is going to be a long process. Okay, I didn't get from 5'8" to 6'2" overnight. So you got to be consistent with this stuff. So you got to be doing this every morning, every night. Some days you can't take rest, so if you're feeling really sore in these areas, you can take rest breaks or rest days and then come back to it whenever you feel fresh again, because you don't want to overwork the body either. That's not going to promote high growth. But this is what you got to do. So for the clavicles and the arm length, you want to basically get your arms in this angle right here. So you basically sort of put it up, and you want to go back with the arm. So think of it as like a backstroke. When you're swimming, think of it as like a backstroke. So you're swimming, but instead you're just standing up and you are doing a backstroke type of form, except you're not doing it in the way you would do a backstroke when you're swimming. Instead of doing it like you put your arm back at one time and then the arm back the next time, instead you put them back at the same time, and you basically just treat it like you're, moving a windmill. Alright? You're basically moving a windmill. You're trying to maximize the amount of wind that's coming out of the windmill, and you do this by going really fast with your arms. So I do this for 5 minutes a day, okay? And this helps grow your clavicle length. It also helps grow your shoulder and arm length too, so you can get longer arms. So basically, I made this little graphic here of showing what the workout is. You put your arms up here, and then he goes back, right? He puts his arms back, and then you get down right here, and then you get the arms back to here, and you just repeat, alright? Next, the forearm. So as you can see, this is a really small graphic here, but this is all you really gotta do. I can basically just explain what you gotta do. So you stand up, you put your arms like at a 90-degree angle, and you just treat this like you're shaking your hands after, washing your hands from the sink. So let's say you just got done washing your hands from the sink, and there's no paper towels or no vent to, wash your hands. Dry your hands. You need to shake it off, right? You shake it off. So you can do this with your forearm. You can do this if you do this with your hands closed. So you have your hands balled up into a fist. You will grow your forearm length by doing this exercise. So you put it in a 90-degree angle, act like you're shaking your hands off after, washing your hands, and you ball your fist up so it can grow your forearm length. Okay, you're going to feel in the forearms, and you do this for 5 minutes a day, and you will see growth over time. Same with the hands and the fingers. It's the same exercise, except this time you don't ball your fist up, and instead you actually just use your hands like you're normally shaking water off your hands in general. So you do the same thing, do this 5 minutes, and eventually your hands and finger length will grow. Okay, basically Why this works is because, it promotes blood flow in the area. It's forcing it to grow longer whenever you're, doing this for a long period of time, okay? Of course, you shake your hands when washing your hands for the bathroom for like 2 seconds. Of course, you're not going to grow, okay? Of course, it doesn't work like that. But doing this for a long period of time, every single day, 5 minutes a day, eventually there's going to be enough blood flow going there that has no other choice but to grow, alright? Now, this is the fun part, okay? This is the fun part. This is how you grow your femur and your tibia. This is how you, genuinely see, height growth in the legs. Alright, this is going to be the most effective method. And this is going to be the Masai jumps plus the ankle weight method, alright? So a lot of you guys might know this already. This, method has a lot of controversy if you've been tapped into the height growth space. And I'm going to explain why it works in just a moment. But the first thing you gotta do is you gotta do Masai jumps, okay? So I talked about this in my last video, but you gotta do Masai jumps. And you jump up. You do pogo jumps, that's what you basically do. You do pogo jumps. And you do this until your shins hurt really bad. So you can't really jump no more. Your shins are in so much pain that if you jump again, it's gonna really hurt. Once you get to that, pain level, then you come and get some ankle weights right here, and you just sit down or you lay off your bed. And instead of doing what he's doing, so he's just sitting down, you basically do the same thing that he's doing, except you want to hang your legs off of the thing. And you want to do this right after doing the Masai jumps. You do this for like an hour, and no, you do the hanging for like about an hour, and then you do the Masai jumps for as long as you need to. It might take like 10 minutes, might take 5 minutes, might take 20 minutes, depending on the person. Depending on how strong your bone density is already. You come over here, you sit down or you lay down, you hang your legs off the thing with the ankle weights. It's going to help stretch out the bone, stretch out the cartilage, stretch out your limbs, your ligaments, your tendons. It's going to stretch all this stuff out. Your muscles are going to stretch out, and this is basically going to force you to grow taller. If you do this every single day or like a few times a week, you're going to see growth, alright? Especially after a long period of time. Like I said, you got to be consistent with this, guys. You can't just, do this for a few days and expect to grow to 6 foot tall, alright? It doesn't work like that. You got to just take some real hard work and dedication, alright? So yeah, you want to hang your legs off, right? And it's best to do this before you go to sleep, but I don't think it's the best way to do it, right? A lot of people will say it's best to do this before bed, but this is going to make you feel awake, right? If you're just doing a whole bunch of jumps and then you go and do the ankle weights, you're going to feel wide awake. And when you sleep, especially when you're in puberty, you want to, maximize your sleep. You want to, promote the best sleep possible. And that's not possible whenever you're doing this every night before bed. So I recommend you just find a normal time, a random time in the day, do all these exercises, okay? So it could be like the first thing in the morning, it could be middle of the day, and then you do this, because it doesn't really matter. The whole take of what people say is, you do the Masai jumps, and then you just walk, and then that just gravity is walking. Since you're walking, it's, promoting gravity, and the gravity just compresses your bones, and it makes it denser. But whenever you stretch it, it makes it longer, alright? And the whole take on that is you basically don't want to walk right after you do this. But if you're stretching this out for an hour anyways, I mean, you don't really got to worry about anything, because now you're actually already stretching the cartilage, and then you can go to sleep at a normal time. You don't have to do a whole workout right before bed. Alright, so before bed, you just want to settle down, because that's where the high growth is actually going to happen. Alright, and the best way to, sleep is just by not eating too long before bed, and, making a cocktail. Have a cocktail that promotes high growth, or not high growth, it promotes your sleep to improve your high growth in my course. So if you're interested in that, just go check that out. But finally, we have the feet, okay? So the first, we have two things that grows your feet, okay? I'll talk about this in a second. I know this is a little bit confusing, but first thing you're going to do is you're going to basically do the same thing you're doing with the shaking hands, except you just shake your feet. Okay, you do this for 5 minutes on each side. So you stand on one leg, you shake your feet, and then you stand on the other leg and you shake your feet. Do this 5 minutes each leg, and your feet are going to grow. basically it's the same concept with the fingers and hands. It promotes the blood flow in these areas. It eventually just has to, it doesn't have any choice but to grow. So, for the shoes, this basically is talking about how when you increase your shoe size, your feet are going to grow too. So basically what I was doing, I was experimenting with this. I was like a shoe size like 10 and a half, right? But then I started wearing like a size 11, right? I just started wearing that on the daily. And eventually my feet caught up to the 11. Then I went up to 11 and a half. And then my feet caught up to 11 and a half. So basically that's how you grow your feet. And this is just going to make your foot longer because you have to adapt to the new shoe size. And it's not too complicated when you really think about it. It's like wearing a shirt. Let's say you're going to the gym, right? And you have a shirt you want to fill out. You bulk up, you get a lot of muscle, and you can eventually fit the shirt like really well. It's the same thing with feet, except your bones just grow for you. So you just wear the feet. I mean, you wear the shoes, and you will subconsciously just start growing your feet, and you won't even realize it. So it's not that complicated, right? So it's the same thing with, you could try this with long pants and try to grow your legs with it. I haven't tried that myself, but it could be something that works. So, if you want to try it out, you can do that. But that is the presentation for you guys. Alright, so I taught you how to grow basically everything. Alright, I taught you how to basically grow everything. So let's start growing. Let's start getting these bones longer. Like I said, it's going to take time to do this. It's going to take time to do this. It's not going to happen overnight. It might take a while. Depending on the person, it might take you like a month to see like noticeable gains. Maybe even a year. Alright. Depends where you're at. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you found this video valuable, drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I will be posting a few times a week, especially right now. I'm trying to, really teach this protocol. And this is the Slenderman method. So if you're interested, if you found this video valuable, I have a lot more of the stuff I talked about in this video in here. I talk about the Slenderman method itself, how to use mechanical methods to grow taller, all natural. Okay, you're not, putting an HGH inside of you. This is all natural. And I also talk about how you can use hormones to promote your height growth. So you can, eat the right foods, get the right vitamins in the day, be the healthiest possible so you can promote your height growth. Okay, this is also just gonna make you feel really good. It's gonna improve in basically every other area of life, including height. So if you guys, yeah, basically the video for you guys. So I'll see you all in the next one. All right.